Welcome to Beefmaster Banner. We're your hosts, Josh Morrison and Jared Strickland. What's going on, Jared?
We finally getting a little hay out of the field.
Did you get some? You didn't get it rained on, did you?
Not yet. We could probably use a shower though.
There's a lot of
But I want
people
to
around
try
here. Got it.
trying to get it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, just trying to get it out of the field before it does rain.
There's a lot of people around here. Maybe yesterday got theirs wet. It was not. We blessed enough to get it out before it started raining, but there's a lot of people got theirs wet yesterday, so
Uh,
it happens sometimes.
yeah, the
Um,
weatherman don't tell you the truth every day.
no, no, and when he makes a mistake, it could cost you a lot of money. Before we go into our show tonight, I'd like to, as always, thank our sponsors. I want to first start off by thanking Jones Beefmasters, Mr. Clark Jones. His sale is always a good one to go to. Got Emmons Beefmasters. They have a good two or three sales a year. I probably should know that, but thank them for their support. Always go look at their stuff. It's great stuff. I want to thank the Southeastern Beefmaster Breeders Association. Their sale is the weekend of August 26th. Be sure to come out to it. It's always a fun time and educational. I want to thank the Beefmaster Educational Endowment Fund, Beef. Thank you for what you're doing for the breed, and thank you for supporting us.
Also, want to thank MLS Tubs for supporting us. I always reach out to them for your nutritional needs, especially ones in the tub form there. And then want to thank C&M Ranches out in South Carolina. They always got good cattle, and we appreciate the support there. Look for them. They're going to have a production sale in a couple of years. And then lastly, got Lissy Beefmasters. Thank you for the support. Definitely watch out for them. They got a big bull sale coming up this fall. I've already seen some pictures they've been posting, and they look good. So y'all check them out.
They're getting on that marketing train early. Want to welcome tonight to the show, Mr. Gary Osmundson. How's it going, Gary?
Going well. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. It's funny, I thought about it a little bit ago. We are on three completely different parts of the world. We have North Carolina, Tennessee, and California. So this will be a little different. Hadn't had anybody had a Californian yet. So it's a little still daylight there. So that's kind of a good sight to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't hold being from California against me, please.
We won't. It'll be a good time tonight.
It's pretty neat though, representing 3 time zones at one time here.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, and it's been a little bit of a challenge because everybody's been so busy and the time change. But we just really appreciate you coming on tonight. But just getting started, I know a lot of people already know you, but maybe for those that don't, just tell us about yourself. Give us some history about you in the cattle business and how you started in Beefmasters.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I was born on a dairy in Iowa, and our family moved to California when I was young, maybe about 10 or so, and went to college. And when I came back, I got an opportunity. One of our family friends, he died in an accident on a dairy, and I came home from college and helped the family out, and I ended up never leaving. So the fellow that passed away, his brother, gave me an opportunity to work for him, and then sold me part of the cows, and that was in April of '98. And so we've been milking cows and growing and getting involved in a few other things ever since.
Now, is this Jerseys, Holsteins? What kind of?
I do something called pro cross. So we crossbreed our dairy cows. We use the Holstein breed, and then we use 2 European breeds. We use Montbéliard from France, and then we use Viking Red from the Scandinavian countries, Sweden, Denmark, and Finland. So it's a 3 breed rotation on the dairy cows.
Oh, that's interesting right there.
Yep, hybrid vigor, kind of like the Beefmaster breed, how that was invented, right? Well, we're kind of after the same thing, a little bit of the same benefits. We're after that on the dairy side, though.
Yeah. That's interesting that you just talk about that, because when we do extension talks, stuff like that, we're always hitting home on the 3 breed cross, for the commercial guys, just in the beef business, and didn't even realize that y'all were doing it in the dairy business.
it's not real popular. I think it's catching on a little bit, but it's a tough sell to people.
Well, even with the 3 breed cows in the commercial business, it's a pretty tough sell.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's pretty simple.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So this is something we don't talk about often. The dairy business, obviously, because we're in the beef cattle, but I feel sure there are similarities and differences. We obviously know the differences, some of them, but maybe explain some of the similarities, since you do run beef cattle now, some, and you're a dairyman. What are some similarities you see, and maybe some of the non-obvious differences?
Okay. So the similarities are we all have, on the beef side, you have a calving season, or maybe maybe you have 2 calving seasons, maybe you're spring and fall calvers. And, we all try to maximize our profit. One of us, the beef guy, you're growing meat, you're making meat, and the dairy guys, we're making milk. And the difference is, but it's a similarity, is on a dairy, we have calves every day. So we're breeding cows every day. We have the vet every week. And so we manage a little different. I'm not 100% sure how the cow calf guys do it. I have some friends that do it, but they have a breeding season, spring or fall, and then you check your cows, whatever your protocol is afterwards, and then you make your decisions based on that. Well, we check the cows every single week, and we breed every week, and we have baby calves every week. So it's those are some of the similarities, but differences. We all do the same thing. It's just I have to do it every day or every week. And I think one of the biggest differences that I don't see so much on the beef side that I see on the dairy side is we're using a lot more technology now to help with the health and the heat detection side on the dairy cows and heifers. And we have some collars on our cows, and I'm going to put them on a group of heifers this year of Beefmaster heifers that I'm going to breed. They're rumination collars, and they're like a Fitbit too. They tell you, when this cow has a baseline established, and if her activity spikes way up, she's in heat, and the computer will give you a printout of who the cows are and who to breed the next day, and then it also will tell you if a cow isn't ruminating enough or less than her normal. If it drops off, I think it's by 15% is what we have the tolerance set. Then you better go check her. She's going to have, she's going to be sick. They're off feed. They're not ruminating. And these collars, this technology picks this stuff up before we can see it with our eyes. So it doesn't matter how good of a cow guy you are. This thing's a day or two ahead of us. And then we can make a management decision, to treat or to sell or whatever, or to breed if they're in heat fast. And so that's some of the differences that I don't know. I could be wrong, but I don't think many cow calf guys are doing that.
No, that's not necessarily new to me, because I've read up on some of that stuff, but as far as the technology, but no, not anybody in our area is even trying any of that as far as the collars or any kind of heat detection stuff. So put a patch on and see if they're riding each other and see if it's pink or not.
Yeah.
Well, in the dairymen around here, back years ago, we had a lot of dairies over in the Southeast. We don't have that anymore, but the ones that are here, they are utilizing a lot of AI. They may not necessarily be using Beefmasters, but they are using a lot of AI. Is that what you're doing also?
Yep. Yeah, we do the AI almost everything. I don't have, as far as the dairy cows go, we don't have a bull running with any of the cows. I think almost every dairyman's had an accident, a bull get a guy or themselves or something. So there's the danger factor. And then there's also, with AI being a big tool, do we really want those bulls on our place? Do we want any calves from those bulls? We want to use the best genetics, and whether it's selecting for heifer calves out of our best cows or our youngest heifers, or if it's picking beef bulls to use on the cows, everything's pretty much done AI. I put pregnant heifers out on pasture, and I will run some bulls with them in case somebody slips calf or comes up open or whatever, or was a hard breeder. We'll have some bulls out there, and I run a lot of my young Beefmaster bulls with those to give them something to do too.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I got a question here. I'm kind of want to learn more about it. Going back to Utah, you're having calves every day, every week kind of deal. So I guess y'all are doing that to kind of stagger out your wet cows to keep a constant supply of milk, I guess, or
Yep. Yeah. So no, that's exactly it. So we tried it. You try to keep it even too, and you can delay breed some of your heifers or maybe breed them a tad bit sooner if you're going to have a hole in your system. But you want everything to stay pretty much the same every month. You don't want to have a ton of fresh cows or be like some dairymen are seasonal. I think more organic guys would be seasonal, but I'm not seasonal, so I've got labor that I've got to pay for every day of the year. So I want there to be a constant supply of milk, and it also helps for the creameries, the guys picking up our milk. They don't want to, come in the spring have a lot of milk, and in the fall have no milk. They got a business to run too. So we try to get every cow on a maybe a 12.8 or a 13.0 month calving interval.
okay. I can say the investment in the technology for those AI or, getting AI conception is good because you have a bad take a couple of rounds there. You slip up and be short on the cows you have having,
Yep.
So I can see that technology paying off pretty good there.
Yep.
So I've got two questions here, kind of going along with breeding. If you say you AI, I don't know how many, let's just take 20 and let's say 10 of them don't stick. Do you call for that in the dairy business or do you just put another straw in them?
So everything revolves around milk production. So that milk is what pays my bills. And so if she's not pulling her weight, then she's going to be repurposed. She'll be called for that. But as long as they're pulling their weight, as long as they're making enough milk to cover feed cost, and we do a calculation income over feed cost. So you got to cover your feed no matter what, and then we all have a fixed cost. So does that income over feed cost per cow or whatever she's producing, does that pay the bills or not? And then that's how we make a decision whether to call or pass, give her another chance or whatever.
Okay. And my next question, this is maybe a little bit different, but as far as milk production, how long to keep those cattle in production? Is it just sort of up to them when they, do you, I guess, is there an age limit for pulling them or?
For me, with the crossbreeding, we're able to keep our cull rate a little lower. The cows are just a little healthier, and so to me, they say it takes over lactation to pay for that heifer to pay for herself, or that when she transitions into the milk herd. So the longer they're in your herd, the way I feel about it, as long as they can walk to the barn, as long as they're functional, let's give them every chance. Keep them around here as long as we can. We call them the golden girls. I want more golden girls. They're the ones that have paid their way, and it's easier for me to keep those.
Yeah, I understand that. One little quick question because I'm just curious. So, like on the your AI that some of them don't take or whatever. So it's like the time that they're milking or wet, I guess, is that pretty flexible, or do y'all have like a pretty hard cut off, like so many months, or is it kind of, can you drag it out if they don't breed, or?
You can a lot of times. So all cows have a milk curve, a lactation curve. So they peak milk, 75 to 80 days or so, and then the curve kind of fades off. And ironically, getting a cow pregnant is one of the biggest killers of milk production. Kind of goes against what we're trying to do, but we want them pregnant and we want them making a lot of milk. So it just comes down to that math problem. If they're open and given this much milk, does it pay the bills or not? And so they can stay. We do make some do not breed cows. They're just hard breeders. They're probably never going to get pregnant, and so we'll stick them in another pen and just kind of forget about them until they're milk production drops below, the making money point,
Yeah. Okay.
and then they're repurposed.
That makes a lot of sense.
Send them to a new home. So you mentioned it a little bit ago. You're taking these Beefmaster bulls, and make sure I'm correct on this. You're crossing them on some of these dairy heifers, and I guess the most obvious reason why is because it's more of a more marketable animal at the sale barn or wherever you decide to sell. Why else would you be doing that? Would it be Cavanese? Would it be anything like that?
So we don't do it so much on the heifers. Our youngest genetics we do it on the cows. Our youngest genetics are supposed to be our best genetics, and that's who we want to get a heifer calf out of. And so we will use sex semen on the heifers, and then we'll breed the milk cows. The majority, probably 80% of my milk cows, the mature cows, get bred to Beefmaster bulls. There's a select few of them, the younger ones, or even some of those golden girls that have done everything that we ask them to do, and they look the part, and they make a lot of milk, they walk correct, everything. We'll try to make heifer calves out of those too, so I'll continue to use sex semen on those. But the majority of the Beefmaster semen gets used on our milk cows, and we manage our inventories, and we make heifers, replacement heifers, and we try to get the heifer calves out of our best genetics or our youngest genetics. But I don't need to grow all the time. So that's a number that we manage, and everything else will get bred to beef. And the reason we do it is, one, we control our how many replacements we're raising. And two, then it's another revenue stream for us. I have a feedlot and a calf ranch too. So I pick up calves for dairymen every day, and I raise their babies and send the heifer calves back to them. And I get to buy these bull calves or the beef on dairy calves from them. And the difference today is over $200 on a day old calf more for a beef cross calf. So if you're going to sell them, there's $200 more as a day old calf versus a Holstein bull calf. So that's one for some of the guys that are selling them. And then I raise them. I put them in the feedlot or put them in the calf ranch, and we raise them. And the reason why I jumped to the Beefmaster breed is because I saw a difference. We had my dad. We were buying some semen from him, and those Beefmaster on dairy crosses, they outgrow every other breed that I've used here. And so, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, I just shifted everything to Beefmaster on my own herd, and as many local dairymen as I can sell semen to, I'm pushing the Beefmaster on them too. So I get an opportunity to buy those calves back that grow a little better.
And that's pretty awesome right there.
Now,
it's not about that much money on each calf. That's just wow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Are there a lot of dairymen around? You're in Northern California, correct?
We're in Central California.
Central California. Okay. Are there a lot of dairies there? Or do you just know a lot, in California? Or
no, there's a lot of dairies in California. There's a lot. Yeah. There's not a lot that are using the Beefmaster right now. Unfortunately, I'd like it to be a lot more, but there's just all these semen companies are running around with their own ideas, and they're pushing Angus or Sim Angus, or some people are using a lot of Charolais on Jersey cows. So you got these yellow calves that come out. But for me, for what I want the Beefmaster calves, and out here too, they have to be black. We have to give the market what it wants. I can't tell the market what it should take. The market tells me what it wants, and they tell me by how much they pay. And so I take I don't know, not a lot, maybe we take a few animals to harvest ourselves every year. I don't sell them. And in April, I harvested down in One World Beef down in Southern California 3 loads of Beefmaster dairy crosses. 2 of them qualified for the CAB, they had black hide or whatever, and 1 of them didn't. They were red, and there was almost a 15-cent discount on those red ones. And so, the market's tough. You don't want to fight them if there's a 15% discount. You want to give them what they want. And so I try to focus. For me, my bulls, the bulls that we use, the Beefmaster bulls, I try to focus on the black side and the black hide, and make as many of those as I can, just so I get paid a little more for the calves, the beef on dairy calves.
Well, you start talking 15 cents on a load of fat calves, you're talking a pretty good chunk of money.
Yeah, on those, it was over $200 a head. The difference.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
And Jared and I's talked about it, and that's just proof. I mean, like I said, you're in California, I'm in North Carolina, he's in Tennessee. The black hide market is really booming, and I mean, cattle are booming in general. But you know, we look at the black hide and see what people are doing. Just like you said, it's good business. I mean, just if that's what they're wanting, why are you going to grow a red one when they're not wanting it, and they're going to discount it? Why not grow what they want?
Yep. Give the market what it wants.
So I guess, are you on those dairy cows that you're retaining for yourself, those calves, beef calves you want, are you using several homo black type bulls? Is that what you're going for?
Yep. There's a few that I've bought, and then there's a few that I've made too, some embryos and some. So yep, I do. We have a bull stud that's maybe 5 miles from my house right here. So we run them out there, and they let me get involved on how we're gonna pack the seam, sort the straws, and so I get involved on that end. And for me, I'm not worried about how many straws per collection I get. I think of it a little different. I'm worried about how many pregnant cows I get out of each collection. And so I actually talked to Wes down there at Cottage Farms, the stud there. I saw him at one of Clark Jones's sales, and he kind of gave me a few tips or something different to try with the beef semen, and that's what we've done. And so I measure conception rate on each one of my bulls before I start selling it to any of my neighbors or anybody else. And I want to make sure we got a winner before we run off and sell anything.
That's customer service right there.
That's smart. That's really smart. I mean, that's a little, it's actually different. And this is what I was hoping through this episode with dairy, talking about beef on dairy. There's a lot of different ways of doing things, and it's fun to hear a completely different point of view from others that we've had. Not saying right or wrong and different, but it's just fun to see the different ways to get things done.
Yep. Different ways to skin a cat.
So you were talking about your neighbors down the street, the other dairymen in California that the ones, I feel sure you've probably convinced some to go to Beefmaster. What do you think? Is it something that we as a breed, you feel need to do better to capture more of the beef on dairy business, or what's your opinion there?
What we need to do better, we need to get animals to marble. We need to get animals to finish and have the same data. And I know there's some people out there saying that they do it, and I just haven't been able to get as many of them. I think we're getting close and we're getting better. But it also, when you check a closeout, if you have better health and better average daily gains, that makes up for a lot on the feed side that you don't get if the animals grade. So the bottom line is, are we making money or not? And that's what I try to tell some people. But there's a couple big players out here, and I think they remember the Beefmasters, maybe before I was born or whatever. And they just said, oh, they got a year, they won't grade, they don't marble, and I think more we got to just change people's minds. And so I keep putting them in front of people. I want people to see them. We put some animals after they outgrow my feedlot. We put them in front of those same guys and pay them to feed for me and kill them. The guys that don't want to buy them. So I'm putting it out there in front of them to see, and hopefully we change some minds. And the Western States. Another thing, the Western States Beefmaster that I'm part of. We this year we rented a facility at the Tulare Farm Show. It's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, farm show in the world. It's really big, and we had Beefmasters on display down there for everybody to see. It's the first time in years that they've had animals on the facility, but it's a huge show. There was a lot of traffic, and it went well. And we're going to do it again this next February. And I think we just need to keep getting it out there and putting it in front of people and showing them what these things will do.
Well, that's awesome that y'all are doing that promotion out there and spreading the word. And I think you'll see the fruits of your labor on that.
Hope so.
So sort of the last question for the night that we've got for you. So as far as nutrition goes, your beef cattle versus your dairy cattle, dairy cross cattle, is there a lot of difference in their nutritional programs? I feel sure there probably is, but explain that a little bit, if you will.
Okay. Yeah. The first 2 months they're identical. They're baby calf, and we give them milk, and we have a nutritionist, that tells us, we have a milk ration for the first 21 days of life, and then it changes for the next 70 days or next 55 to 60 days that they're on milk. It's a little bit different. And then they get a grain, they get a calf starter. And then when they're about 100 days old, we start introducing a little bit of roughage to them. And up until probably 5 months old, there's hardly any difference. Whether you're going to milk the animal or whether you're going to hang meat on it, you need protein to build a frame. And so the first 5 months, 4 to 5 months are hardly different. They're very, very similar. And then that's where the difference is. From 5 months on is where the difference is. We go then on the heifers. You don't want a lot of starch. You don't want to make them fat. You want to continue with the protein, and you start really gut health is important. So you put a lot of roughage in there, and we try to grow them and raise them. Getting to breeding weight, get them to, a year, 13 months old, get them to that 800-pound mark as quick as we can, efficiently as we can, and as cheap as we can. And then on the beef side, they start pouring the starch to them so they can lay down marbling, lay down some fat and grow. And so that's about 5 months old is where the differences start really. Get in there, and the dairy side, there's more roughage. The beef side, you start adding the starch to it.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's pretty. This has been a really informative episode for me. I've always wondered sort of how the dairyman and the beef side intertwined, and I think this shed a lot of light on it. I know we see each other from time to time at sales, and it's like, it's over before we ever get there, and I don't ever get to just. Everything's so busy, we just don't ever get to sit down and talk. So this has been a really good episode and a good conversation. And I think it's going to shed a lot of light on the dairyman, and hopefully we'll be able to market better to the dairyman and get that side of things a little better.
Yeah. That sounds exciting.
I've really enjoyed the talk. I mean, I've learned a lot. I'm really interested in this. You're talking about your heat detection and rumination stuff. Be kind of interested to see if that gets transferred over into the beef cows more as we go into the future.
Yep.
I know getting those cows bred on dairy is very, very important, but it's very important in the beef business too. So, I'd like to see how that kind of shakes out as we go forward.
Yep, it's interesting. I'm going to try it. So maybe 5-6 months, I'll have some answers for you.
Maybe we'll have you back on and have another episode about it.
Yeah, we can do a post whatever you call it, experiment, I guess.
Post experiment, yeah.
Yeah, talk about it.
But Mr. Gary, we really appreciate you coming on, taking time out of your evening. It's still sunny there. That's just amazing. But we appreciate you coming on, taking time out of your evening to come on and talk to us. I feel like this is going to be a really great episode. It was just very informative, and I think a lot of people are going to learn from it. I know I sure did.
Yeah, I did too. We appreciate you taking the time to come out and talk with us about it, because it's pretty neat.
Yep. No, thank you guys for having me, and thank you guys for keeping on making these shows. I love listening to them. So thank you a bunch.
We appreciate it. If you told us you hated it, we probably would just quit. We keep waiting on somebody to tell us. We're tired of it. Do something different. So, but no, it means a lot. We appreciate it, and we'll see you all in the next episode.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
You too.
Well, we want to thank everybody for listening to the Beefmaster Banner podcast. Please know that we are on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and we are on YouTube. Just search Beefmaster Banner. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. We love hearing from you, and we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you.